Hello FSW students. Today I'm going to talk about apostrophes for possession. And as you can see, my name is Angela, so I've used the apostrophe to say Angela's apostrophe rules. How should you use an apostrophe to show possession or ownership? So first of all, we've got to remember that it's going to be different if I've got one dog or I've got two dogs. So let's see how this works. It's going to show belonging or ownership, and for just one Angela, it's going to go before the S, Angela's apostrophe rules. There's only one of me. Why is the apostrophe sometimes before or after? Well, here's the clue, because I've shown you one dog or two dogs. That's how we know. This is my dog's food, but I've only got one dog, so therefore it goes before the S. Now obviously, if you're following along here, I'm sure you've got it. This is my dog's food, and I have two dogs, so it's going to go after the S. Now obviously the food belongs to the dogs, that's why we need it. So we're not going to use it just for plurals, we're only going to use it if something belongs to something. Now here's a quick tip, because most of us, may have had some experience with another language. So this is my cat's food, and I've got one cat. Esta es la comida de mi gato. If I can speak a little bit of Spanish or another language that doesn't use an apostrophe, then I can tell you that if it says of, this is the food of my cat, one cat. If I translate it, I know I need an apostrophe, because in Spanish it would say de, of my cat. Now I think you get the idea here, because if we go to two cats, you still have esta es la comida de, this is the food of, and then we go to the plural, my cats, like that. So if you do speak another language, and there are many other languages that do not use apostrophes for possession, if you translate it back, you'll be able to work out if you need one. Now here's a quick thing to remember, that his, hers, theirs, it's, ours, yours and whose, these are already possessive. So you do not need an apostrophe, and occasionally you'll see people putting apostrophes after hers or his. You don't need it, because remember the apostrophe is showing ownership. So if the ownership is already there, we don't need it. This bag is yours, don't need an apostrophe. The book's cover is beautiful. The artist created its design. Now here's a quick one that we often see mistakes with. It's or its. Sounds the same when we say it, because English is a bit crazy like that. The first one, most people will get right, but the second one is where we see a mistake. So it's, without the S, it can only be it apostrophe S, which is it is, or it's without. This is not a thing. You will never ever see that, because this, saying it's like that, that's like saying his or hers. It just does not need the apostrophe. So we can have it is a great book, it's a great book, or we can have my dog loves its bed, and we don't need an apostrophe because it's already possessed. Let's have a quick practice. My brother's cooking is the best. Okay, we need an apostrophe. You don't know how many brothers I've got, and I definitely need an apostrophe because the cooking belongs to the brother. How many do I have? I've got one. So where am I going to put it? Is it going to go before the S? Is it going to go after? It's going to go before, because if you look at it, just one brother, and it stops there. Now this is something that we get asked a lot in the writing centre. What if a name ends in S? We're talking like James or Charles's book, that sort of thing. This can be a little bit confusing, but it all depends on what style guide you're using. A lot of the time we use MLA. Now if it's a proper noun and it ends in S, if it's singular, then we add apostrophe S. So Athens history, James's house. These are just singular. Alexandra Dumas's novels. When the name is plural and ends in S, but the actual thing is singular, you just add an apostrophe. So you don't put the extra S. So if we're talking about the United States, which it ends in S, but it's considered one thing, we don't say states. Now some styles, here's the disclaimer here, sometimes it's just a stylistic choice. So they'll say just add the apostrophe. See, like Athens here, whereas up here we put this, that's MLA style. So it all depends on what style guide you're using. Okay, so I hope this helped, and if in doubt, check with your professor about which style you're using for this particular rule. All the others that I've described are straight. That's the way they always are. Okay, this one is the one that has a little bit of style choice. Thank you so much.